for us to continue and complete today's topic? Huh? Okay. Quickly, we'll move forward. We have 2 more hours to cover various topics. Just we were at the beginning. Okay, so I'll just touch upon the registration documents required for the project. Okay, many of you were filed the application for registration. You would be knowing that what are the documents required for the project registration. Okay, and there are 123 list of documents. 1, 2, 3 is a count that required for you to file an application. And many of the promoters ask, why are they asking so much of documents? Okay, where do we bring those documents? That is many a time the questions will have by many of the stakeholders. Okay, and in our experience, the documents are available, but it is not at one place. It's all scattered with the promoter also. Okay, this exercise makes promoter to contact, meet various professionals or the people inside the organization, collect the documents, keep those things in one place, organize it, and file the application for registration of the RERA project. That is what is required. You can confidently say once you file these documents uploaded, document file with the RERA, you can remove all these documents from your office also. Confidently, you can say tell the customer, you need anything, go to the RERA, you available everything. You need not to ask me that I want, this I want, my legal person asking that copy, this copy for approval. Confidently, you can say, please go there, you can take everything. To that extent, the document depository is there with the RERA authority related to the project registration. Simply, what is required is, if you are a customer or if you are a lender, what document you ask from the promoter or a builder to submit the documents. Only those documents are required, plus some affidavits or some of the information related to the projects required. That is what is required, but as these information are not at one place, will not be at one place, that makes difficult for the promoter, builders, professionals to file the application. Sometimes we experience the applications start submitting the document to the professional, till the filing it may say take 3 months. Many a time we experience it comes after 3 months, sir, we got this document now only. That is the experience. Okay, so quickly let's understand what are the documents required. Okay, there are documents related to the KYC of a promoter, partnership, private limited company promoter. In case of a proprietor, what will be the KYC related to that entity required? He called as a promoter. Legal document required. If you are a buyer, certainly you will ask from the title, mother deed to till, what will be the document you require related to that encumbrance, EC and all those related to the. Then sanction plan and NOCs required. Various NOCs for that project, sanction plans are required. Fourth is related to the financial information about the project. What is the estimated cost of the project related to the information to the professional certificate and how you arrived it. Finally, you will have something about the CA architect engineer certificate stating the estimated cost of the project and also give the details of the information. And obviously, if you are once it is registered, you will enter into an agreement with the customers. Then you will have application form, allotment letter, agreement of sale, sale deed draft. These things required. And affidavit stating that whatever with the information I am giving is the true and correct. Okay, I am not what do you call it as? Whatever the information giving is correct.
To the best of my
knowledge. Best of my knowledge, my information, you put everything.
Form B section.
Then the Form B is a very important, which says that
Form B has everything. Form B also has the requirement that I will comply with the financial requirement, section 4.2 LD. The last thing is it says is I will not discriminate
based on the caste.
I will not discriminate on any grounds.
Okay, based on the caste, creed.
That is why the promoter, he won't say I'll sell it to only non-vegetarians or vegetarians.
Actually, in many of the projects, when RERA came, they used to earmark this floor is for only for vegetarians. Right?
Now they can't.
They can't. They will do internally without like spelling it out that. So that is how it has been transformed. Okay. And also it will have the financial information about the promoter, last 3 years financial information you give it, and the background of the promoter, past projects that give a credibility of the information about the promoter to the buyer or any other stakeholders. Only this
once
okay.
After just 1 minute, I'll just after Mr. Reddy came, now the authority is asking for source of funds. Source of funds is being sought for. So every promoter is now supposed to say what is the source of funds to develop the project.
Same thing, morning we discussed in detail about source of funds.
So now it is a mandatory document. Earlier it was an optional thing. Now it has been made mandatory to say what is the source of funds.
Okay. And few important aspects as a professional you should remember. One is the estimated cost of the project. You cannot mess up with that. There should be a proper backup of working for that. Many a time when we ask, sir, 1 lakh development martidini 2,000 rupees average 20 koti hakoli anta heluta. Is the way that somebody say that? Of course, that is some thumb rule for them. They never consider what would be the cost of the professionals they pay, planning charges they pay, borrowing interest cost they pay, administrative charges. If that is the case, you would see that 50 apartment 50 koti ಆಗ್ತದೆ 20 koti cost 30 kotina profit ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. That's a simple math, okay? But actually he would have been incurring more, but for him, cost of the construction is only the civil cost. That's how that would be a general thumb rule, but you have to ask him, put it on the paper. Is it the cost only? If so, what is the cost you will be selling at? If you say 1 crore rupees or 50 apartment, 50 crore rupees, then you are saying 20 crore is my cost. 10 crores is a land cost. That means you are making 20 crores is a profit. Then you will say, no, sir, this cost is there, that cost is there. He'll come back with various other costs so that you have to capture it, arrive at the estimated cost of the project. That is the first, very important, because this is very important. Based on this, your eligibility to withdraw the money from the designated bank account lies.
Marketing cost.
Estimated cost of the project. What is the cost of the project? Marketing cost is what? Marketing cost is what? It is a selling cost. It is not a cost of the product always. Okay. Marketing cost is a selling cost, not the product.
Karnataka disallows marketing
Yes,
cost.
most of the states say that. Okay. Marketing cost, selling cost is not part of your estimated, because it's not a product development cost. It's a selling cost. Even our basic understanding as since our CA days also, is a cost of the, is not part of the cost. It's a selling cost. So it is not part of that. So next is estimated, end start date and end date.
So what happens when you register the project? The clock starts ticking and it never stops now for a promoter, which means that section 4.2 LC enables you to give an end date to a project. So with that end date, you register the project. What are you supposed to do? All your agreements you enter into, you will enter the same date. For all practical purposes, that should be the end date. And irrespective of what happens, unless there's a force majeure condition which you can really establish, there is no excuse for you to say that even, in fact, other than Telangana has introduced that court orders and government orders are included in force majeure. No other state has included it in the rules, even if it, which means that even if there is a stay order passed by a court, now you cannot seek an excuse. That clock keeps running. So when you're advising a promoter or a promoter gives a start and end date, so we generally say that take the maximum time. So if the promoter is expecting to complete the project within 24 months, we ideally suggest that take 48 months. Because there is no problem in completing before. But not completing on the date has a lot of repercussions. One, the delay period interest that you pay to the allottees, because the allottees will then come back and say that you have promised this date. Then two, going before the authority and taking extension. Extension is also sometimes we know that applications are filed. Even for 6-8 months, they don't get considered. Of course, now it has become much faster, but there was a time when that 1 year period would have got over and you wouldn't have got an extension. Also, during that time, some banks also refuse to release funds. The EMIs that allottees pay, saying that project is expired. You go get the extension, then I'll release the next payment. So all these things are there. So when you're advising a promoter, when a registration has to be obtained for a project, make sure that you give additional time. We generally see with the layout projects, that's our ella kelsa mugdobitide. In an everything, everything is over. But that everything, it doesn't happen. Then he'll come, sir, agilla. We've seen that. Practically, we've seen that. So when he says 3 months, you say, okay, take 18 months. Because elections will come. Some chairman will retire. The committee will not be there. They will not meet to issue the release order. Or some neighbor will complain. Something will happen. So it's very, as volatile as real estate is, it's always good to have an extra buffer, not just 1, but into 3. So in case of an apartment project where phase development is there, we suggest that take the maximum 5 years time, because you can always report completion early, but you cannot do do otherwise. No, 5 years you can give. 5 years you can give, because after you take the commencement certificate, you can continue the work only within 5 years. I'm not aware what is the new bylaws of BBMP. But within 5 years, if you have completed 85% of work, then you can take a renewal even beyond 5 years. But BBMP doesn't follow that. They even issue occupancy certificate even after 5 years without insisting on a renewal. But the authority now insists on renewal when you go for a extension. So when you go for extension, the authority also asks that NOCs which have lapsed take renewals. So which means it's almost like a new project in terms of the cost that gets involved, the time, the effort that gets involved. So make sure that you advise correctly, take the maximum time when setting the end date. There is a team, there is a TPM, that is town planning, a person from the government who's deputed there. There's an engineering section, there's accounts, there's revenue. And then the 2 members and 2 members. So these 2 members, all of these verify. There are queries raised, specific queries raised. Only when you answer those queries, they get. So there are people sitting there and checking everything in detail. Then they won't get approval. Now it is a no-no. Bank loan, then you have to say that you have a sanction, in principle sanction.
If it is your own fund, show me the source of fund.
Source of funds. Because
many of a project, recently one project, 18 acres project, about 21 crore rupees of project. Project is completed and it is not reflecting in their audited balance sheet. Neither the project nor the liability. When they came and discussed, sir, we have paid through our sister concern, sir, we will recover at later point of time. Obviously, authority said, then what are you doing? That's what he said, that we are not here to like cure something. We are here to prevent. When you are at the time of development, spending itself, you are doing all these adjustments of taking money from other places, putting here, take money and putting somewhere else. Okay, then where is that? That means, sir, we are entertaining, we are allowing you to continue to do the similar activities. So they say that, okay, you show it, whatever you have it, you show it to us. You satisfy us. You have ability, financial ability to complete the project, or by bringing the money, you are able to complete the project. Okay, that is what they wanted to say. Not completely on the customer collection. That is no more a option available. Okay. So
So he's actually not technically. Can you show me this past experience?
if you read rule number 15, it says experience of the promoter. That means promoter is that partnership. Experience of the group. Past experience. That's what is the rule 15 says when they publish it. If you are part of any of the group, because now post IBC, post RERA, everybody prefer to have for each project separate entity. Otherwise, one more go to the IBC, entire 20 projects are stuck at IBC. So that is why now and even lenders say that if you are a group company, if you are having multiple projects in one company, we will not fund it. Because then I end up with doing due diligence of all the projects. Anybody can go. You're not paid audit fee, you can go. So that would be the challenge. Now they say that you make it separate entity for a separate project, or complete that project, start the new project in the same entity. Okay, that's what is the lenders also recommending.
So in
Okay.
fact, even in case of extensions from the source of funds, so sometimes the period of the project, that is the end date given, is 4 years or 5 years. Post that 5 years, an application is filed for extension for 1 year. At the end of 5 years, 40% or 45% work is completed. So what is remaining is about 55%. The authority is asking the question that what you have not done in 5 years, how will you do it in 1 year? That's the first question. Second question they are asking is, how are you going to fund it? We have seen many promoters not being able to answer that question because they have not made any arrangements for the funds. They are only relying on sales. They are saying that we'll push for sales now. Then the authority is saying, already there are 20 allottees. You will add another 20 allottees, all 40 will be in trouble. So come back with source of funds and then we will see about extension. So they are appreciating it in a much better way in terms of making sure that the allottees don't get into trouble. Because the promoters will always, for them, it doesn't matter. For an allottee, it's his lifetime saving when he puts it into the project, and then you have already 20 people in trouble. Why add another 20 to it? They might as well reject it. Of course, that doesn't happen. But then they are forcing the promoters to make sure that think and say that, okay, what is the fund now? How do I complete it? One, it's not practical to complete 55% in the next 1 year. What you have not done in 5 years, how will you do it in the next 1 year? So these tricky questions are coming, and the finer aspect, it's getting chiseled by the day. So the act is maturing, questions being asked are much better. So all these things are being looked into. Yeah.
So once a registration is complete and you have a place, time till the completion of the project, you should do something right. What will you do? That is as a professional. For the builder, first he will launch, start developing, start collecting money, start showing the progress, right? So till completion of the project, how as an authority know that what you are doing, how we are doing, what is that you are making the sales, what is that collecting from customer, anybody has filed a litigation, anybody has complained, okay? That is called quarterly update. Section 11 and rule 14. Huh? Okay, section 3 is a prior registration. Section 4 is the documents required for filing an application. Section 5 is about the grant of RERA registration. As per that, it is 30 days. After 30 days, it is called deemed approval, deemed registration. However, fairly the actually authority has reached that 30 days of timeline. But now again, it has come back with the change of guards and people, and it all depends on how we reply to the documentation, because they say that I want this. They go through the EC. In the EC, they see that some encumbrance or some court cases are there. They say, please bring that court case copy. Okay, maybe
there is generally not there, but
not
they can.
in the somewhere. Or in legal opinion, they go through that. Some document they see and they ask you to submit it.
Now the biggest problem that is coming is what your Income Tax Act allows and RERA doesn't allow. He's a partner bringing in land into the partnership firm as the capital. Now the authority is asking, give us some document which is registered to say that the partnership firm owns the property. So they are insisting on a JD, which is not possible. But we are unable to explain to them that it is not possible. It has already been brought in. If it has been brought in, then they are saying show that in the balance sheet or show something that it is registered. So that is becoming an issue. Slowly it is getting addressed, but yes, it is an issue at the moment that how easily you as chartered accountants, you allow the understand and how it is easily brought in. The property would have been acquired out of partnership funds in the name of the partner, because earlier the Land Revenue Act did not allow agricultural land to be purchased. So they have acquired the land in the partner's name. They have got the sanctions. Now they want the registration, but the authority is insisting, where is the proof that the land stands in the name of the firm?
Partnership. Okay. So, and also in terms of where properties are in the joint name, we are both friends, we acquired the property. Okay, and now in the both name, we applied for the plan sanction. When we came to RERA and file an application, they asked us to file in only one place, and there is no concept of filing, making application in the two individual names. Okay, and family.
Individual or two entities.
Two entities.
Promoter is always one.
Yeah, we have to choose. And
If I choose, then the authority
what
is saying I have to execute joint development agreement in his favor. What is the right that he has to develop my land?
So
Because let's say that there is a layout. We both own 3 acres, but in the part that I own, the 50% of the park and amenities are sitting in my land. No.
now we are both landowners only.
Mhm.
We come together to develop it.
Mhm.
Okay. Now what happening is it coming to a final in terms of
It's
day by
become
day, it's a final. It's a field
Because the planning authorities don't ask. You make an application, they are giving sanction. That's what the authority says. There was one case where a penthouse is sanctioned by one of the municipal authorities, whereas it could not have been sanctioned. So particularly that municipal corporation, the authority came to know is sanctioning plans where it should not be sanctioning. So any plan coming from that municipal authority, they are
As a
first seeing
penthouse.
whether penthouse
penthouse
is there. So the moment penthouse is there, they are saying no.
Penthouse
Because that-
picture is there in the total inventory, that is not
That is
mentioned.
not there.
4x4 floor, 16 houses is there in this. In the structure, it is showing penthouse. These people, builders are selling that penthouse for showing this part of the plan. Okay, now the planning authority, which is Belgaum, yeah, somewhere. So they say that they have written a letter how you are sanctioning, showing the picture, showing the structure as a penthouse on the top of the building. Okay, so these are all the things which is looking into. The intention is whoever buys should get the clear title. Title should flow in a legal way. That is the intention of it. So this quarterly update, same thing is section 11 and the rule 15D. Same thing what I mentioned is in terms of report the progress of development work in the project. What is the sold and unsold units? Having sold, what is the money realized in the project? How much you have collected and how much you deposited into the RERA account? How much you have withdrawn? Okay, so that is a followed by the certificate of architect, engineer, and a chartered accountant. These three the profession should certify on every quarter, and CA will certify what? Sorry, cost incurred and also amount eligible to withdraw from the project. So quarterly update due date is 15 days from the end of each quarter. That is the 15th April, 15th July, 15th October, 15th January, right? If you do not file within the due date, what happens? What happens? Penalty. Under which section? 59 registration. 60 is other violation. Easy to remember. Okay, 59 is 10%. Other violation are only 5%.
Of course, it's not being levied as such now.
Okay.
There was a circular under which the delay fees was levied, but that is now stopped at 2019, one of the quarters of 2019, beyond which they are not levying the penalty.
Project-wise, date and time.
No,
You have to-
general photographs. Photographs depicting. Yeah, no, quarterly reports are not. You cannot see the view.
At this point of time, no, but authority, once they verify it and publish it, only
The-
few fields you
The
can see.
financial data which you upload during registration is not. These photos you don't see. These photos. You can obtain it under RTI. You can obtain it under RTI. You can obtain all the information. It should be. What is happening is that we are 7 years into RERA, and the authority has not been able to verify the data that is going in. So it does not want to publish the data which is unverified. So because then the lot of flaws may be there. Possible that because over a period of time, and unfortunately, Karnataka also allowed the money to go into the government treasury, which is not happening in the other states. Like Maharashtra and all is working as an autonomous body. All the funds, everything that they are collecting, they are sitting on huge funds. Now Karnataka RERA has also filed a writ petition seeking or taking over the finances from the government, because all the money that has been collected over all the 7 years is sitting. For every small thing, they have to go to the government and get a sanction.
But
They don't have
sanction-
staff. They're short of staff. They're short of money, because they did call for tenders from CAs to do all of this, but they don't have the money. So they don't have the money. So that's why, as I understand, because it is unverified, it is not yet released. Oh yes, certainly. Everything is an opportunity under RERA. Because now, even takeover of projects, you can, right from the beginning, where you, in fact, now, when we advise promoters, we say, don't agree to the joint development percentage without having consulted a financial person to put the numbers on paper and see whether it is viable. Because it's become that finer now, because we have seen historically that promoters have said 50-50, 45-55, all that doesn't work on an assumption now. You have to put it, so right from the financial planning till the end, till you complete, everything is an opportunity. You also have an opportunity to represent now, up to the appellate tribunal under section 56. So you have a right to represent. Company secretaries, CAs and cost accountants can now represent before the authority as well as the appellate tribunal.
Having said that, there is a professional certificate. Formats are notified by respective state RERA. In Karnataka, 1, 2, 3 for the registration, 4, 5, 6 for the quarterly updates, or rather than quarterly update, for the purpose of section 4.2 LD, which allows you to withdraw the money from the project designated bank account. Form 7 is annual audit report, report of annual audit of accounts of the project. These are format which are notified. Go through that and you have to understand impact of it. It is not just filling the certificate. Okay, you should understand the intention behind filling it and you should understand it. We all talks about in the certificate, if you go through, what is mentioned on the first column is called, how many of issue certificate? CA certificate. First column is called estimated cost. Second is incurred. Which standard talks about incurred in accounts? What is the definition of incurred? Can somebody tell? That you should say, sir. Accrual or cash? We know what is cash basis, what is accrual basis, what is incurred basis. Incurred should be mercantile basis according to you. Then for me to buy a lift, I should pay 30% advance before I get my bill. I have to pay a Singapore architect to design 6 months well in advance to give his appointment. What is that? Is it a cash payment or accrual?
If I receive the invoice and entered in the book, then it will be
Accrual. You know whether you talk accrual or cost, sir.
Approval is my cost. Whatever is in books, that is my cost.
Whatever is there in the books is not my cost. What is not there? Payments are made for the import. Well, advance payments are made. What do you do? Is it?
To that extent, I can book that.
Can you book the expense?
Or I can add the advances. Whatever the cost.
Then what is that called accounting? Mercantile accounting or cash accounting? Okay. So one should understand what do you mean by cost incurred. The concept of cost incurred you will not see in any of your industry or in any of your businesses. 6,000 projects, 1 lakh projects are there in India. 1 lakh certificates are issued by a chartered accountant on every quarter. In Karnataka, we have about 6,000 projects. Every quarter, 6,000 projects you would have issued the certificate, right? 1 lakh rupees per certificate would amounting to how much you can see revenue. That is the opportunity. Okay. You're paying more, madam? Possible. Okay. So that is the opportunity we are there. Okay, it's not that okay, you pay 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. You are certifying 100 crore project. You are allowing to withdraw 10 crore rupees. You are allowing to withdraw 20 crore rupees. What is the effort which should go into before you certify it? What are the documents you will be looking at before you certify it? It's very important, because based on your certificate, you go to the banker or holding the certificate, we withdraw from the which account? Designated. That account is called what? RERA designated account. Whose money will come? Allottee's money. Allottee's money comes as what? Towards what? Towards the project only. That means you are allowing that money to withdraw, stating that he has incurred for the purpose of project, and with this certificate enabling him to withdraw it. If that goes wrong, then it comes to us also as a professional. Okay, ensure that whatever issue, take sufficient time. Tell your clients, please do not come at the end moment. I am sure that if you actually looking at the books of accounts, records, okay, you need sufficient time for you to issue it. Don't, because it's give only 15 days from the end of the quarter, right? And this industry, you know how systematic, all right, how disciplined, and especially when the matter of money comes and accounting comes. Now, at least post GST, they are accounting purchase and sales for input and output, right? For this industry, even output is 5%. So, irrespective of your invoice something, you will collect into 5%. But your books of accounts should be maintained. Based on the books of accounts, you will be issuing the certificate. Cost incurred is a very different concept in terms of mercantile plus also advances paid towards the supply. Both put together is called something called cost incurred, because we have to read this with the objective of the act, and also that money I'm utilizing only for the purpose of the project. Couple of cases have come where the money has been released to the sister concern in disguise as an advance to the advance towards the project. Later it is found that it is not, that company never rendered the services, only showing as advance. And finally they pass the order stating that they have divested the funds. You can make it out. You can't, like when you pay the amount to the OT's lift, I'm sure that they have 6 months or 1 year time. You can expect where is the contract. If you make a payment to import of steel, how much time is required for you to import the steel, right? If you make a payment to some XYZ for supply of some of the material, how much time that required, and where will you use it? So those are all some indication for you to see this, the payments have gone to really to the for the purpose of project or otherwise. That is what section 4.2 LD last line talks about, for the purpose of project only. Okay, that is a certificate.
In fact, we know of one particular developer. Both the directors are languishing in jail for 2 months now, 2.5 months, because all the allottees went and complained, and they have been charged not only with cheating, but another act relating to the deposits. What is that? PMLA or
Prevention of money
so so they are not getting bail. So because all the allottees went and complained, filed a police complaint, a charge sheet is filed, they are behind bars for 2 months now. 2.5 months, they have not come out. So it is happening. Everything is happening now. So there also, like he said, sister concerns. All payments are made to sister concerns there.
And one of
majority of the payments are made to sister concerns, showing that this is expense towards construction. And I don't know who's the CA who certified.
One of the reputed CA firm in Bangalore has certified the project. Okay, knowingly, unknowingly, because this we do not know when will all this will be triggered. Okay, so that is what is that. And non-compliance of filing act says up to 5%. However, many of the state authorities say that 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. But in Karnataka, up to 2019, they levied a penalties for the quarters before COVID. Post-COVID, they haven't levied it, but soon they will come back with the levying of the penalty for non-filing of the quarterly updates. So we have seen what is that, registration and the quarterly update and the financial management. As I told that One is section 4.2 LD. We have to read. That is the only 4.2 LD. We have proviso 1, proviso 2, proviso 3. That's all is a chartered accountants in terms of financial management. But this revolve around entire act. Much onus is given, much confidence is given on a chartered accountancy profession in under RERA for the purpose of withdrawal of the money, because entire thing is about money. So nobody other than, no profession other than a chartered accountant can certify better. That is why this is entire responsibility is given for a chartered accountant under RERA. So you know that money collected, how much should be deposited? How much? Minimum 70%, right? To which account? Of particular project. You have 5 projects, you cannot deposit in one project. Each project is a separate, right? And having deposited, when will you withdraw? When will you withdraw? On what basis you withdraw? Based on percentage of progress of development of project, right? Based on what? Architect, engineer, CA certificate. So this is called financial management under RERA, section
So
4.2.
Karnataka also has issued a circular, the bank account directions 2020, which say what is the account, how it has to be opened, in what name it has to be opened. It also says that in case of a joint development, I don't know if anybody has seen that, in case of a joint development, even where there is area sharing, there can only be one account. There cannot be 2 accounts, which means that the landowner cannot sell separately, collect money separately. If the landowner also sells, that 70% money has to come in here and only then go back to the landowner. So that is what is bank account directions when it comes to.
Section 56 enables the professionals to appear before the authority, adjudicating officer and the tribunal also. Chartered accountant, company secretaries and the cost accountants, all the 3 are empowered along with the advocates to appear before AO, adjudicating officer and the tribunal, apart from the RERA authority.
You have a question?
So sometimes they are insisting okay, for each project to require 5 bank accounts.
No.
3 bank account. If you have a loan, the lender will made 1-2 more account for your his routing of that. So, but everything is automated. It's like a filter, deposit into one account, automatically 70-30 will go. 70 you can withdraw.
That is a
30.
product of the bank. After coming of RERA, initially we were giving the details of a current account, the normal current account. Then the banks evolved a product where there is a master collection account, then there is a 70% account, there is a 30% account. So all the checks that go into the master collection account automatically get funneled into 70-30.
Land
Pass-through charges, you are talking about the taxes and all that. Pass-through charges you can collect separately.
GST.
It doesn't come separately.
If it is comes up, if it is included, you withdraw it. What is the estimated cost? Is estimated cost including GST or excluding GST? What is your basis of accounts? Instead of 100, if you are giving 180, that's including GST. You withdraw the same thing here. If you say 100 separate, 18 separate, then make it 100 here, 5 take it separate. It all depends on how the accounting in the project also carried out. Okay. And also various RERA authorities like Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, UP have issued notices to the professionals for not adhering or not following what is mandated under RERA, not exercising their professional powers or professional work in the way that it is required.
Not maintaining the ethics, basically.
Or not only ethics, and maybe in terms of not following the best practices while issuing the certificate. That is a Maharashtra RERA issued the paper advertisement because every state, sir, bank account direction bars. It requires you to money to be withdrawal, certificate for withdrawal of funds by another CA and annual audit of accounts by separate, both separate. Part of bank account direction, RERA regulation.
Circular.
RERA regulation is there.
On the bank account directions 2020.
And regulation also included now.
Regulation.
Is it a project cost?
So that will not, that we have to.
Separate, sir. It's not a project cost, it's because
It is
what,
collected, generally it is collected together. So I'm thinking that it will go, because only one check is issued. Because when bank releases, bank doesn't release 3-4, one for cost, one for GST, one for all these clubhouse charges. It doesn't. So one check comes, it's like he said, how you account it and how you withdraw it.
withdraw it is.
Not
So you
sale
collecting that
agreement.
is for a clubhouse development charges. Clubhouse, where are you mentioned in your cost? Why? Then clubhouse is what?
No,
Where?
that is in case of a layout. In case
Layout,
of a plotted
plotted
development.
development,
In
yeah.
case of an apartment
Apartment
project
is
is
part of-
generally there.
Yeah.
In case of a layout, then it's a separate amenity that you're providing, which you're collecting. You would have already collected that money as part of the plot cost itself. So there's no separate, you are not segregating it. You're not bucketing it as a separate cost. In case of an apartment, all those separations are there, clubhouse development charges, car parking development charges, this view facing charges, this floor rise charges. So that itself comes to about 20-30% other than your base cost. Yeah.
And if you read the bank account direction, after the certificate, it further says that authority shall not only take the action against the respective professions, also they initiate to write a letter to the respective professional bodies to take the professional misconduct or whatever may be in terms of any certificate which are issued on a casual basis or not in accordance with or with collision with the promoter to withdraw the funds. Okay. Now we have
The
seen,
earlier case that was there, in fact, that was a case where the architect issued a completion certificate saying completion is done. However, it was found that the project is not completed, and inspection was conducted. And then it was found, and then remarks were passed against the architect saying that how did he issue the certificate? And the delay compensation was awarded beyond that period where the architect has issued the completion certificate.
now what we have seen is registration, quarterly update, duty that financial management, and if you're not able to complete the project within time what you have given, say you're given 21 to 23 now you're not able to complete the project, what we have seen section 2 definition 3 prior registration 4 is that you should also say 4 is list of document for registration, 5 is a registration. Now after registration section 6 is extension. Okay, extension initially it is because of only with the force majeure it's supposed to be. Now there is a leniency given. Authority has a suo motu power, not suo motu, they have a discretionary power based on the project case to case basis. They can extend maximum of 1 year only. Okay, and while extension they'll ask some details about the documents, reason for extension, again professional certificate, funds status, sold and unsold, and that is what they say that, and the 50% of the initial fees paid, registration fees paid, is the charges for the extension. Now we obtain the extension, and you may have something like modification in that. Okay,
generally we see whenever a promoter comes for extension, you find that the bank account is changed, deposit is made somewhere else.
okay.
And CAs have issued certificates without qualifying. What I understand from him, that without qualifying, CAs have issued certificates saying that the money is collected in some other account. So that's when the modifications, then you have to seek for change.
Some of the registration bank account may get changed. You might have changed some estimated cost, right? And you might have given like mail ID or the mobile number. Okay. Project name would have been changed, or directors in between would have been changed. Like these are all modification to the registration. That's the one part of the modification, which is more of a clerical, more of a document, which whatever you have it, you can go it. The bigger modification comes under section 14. Section 14 is modification to the sanction plan and the specifications. What will happen? They have given the 4-wheeler for a car, right? When you go and when you in between, they say that no, 4-wheeler, even 3-wheeler is sufficient for you to drive. Will you buy it? Sir, everything is same, sir, but only instead of 4, you have given 3-wheelers. Is that okay? The same thing here. Pre-RERA, there used to be agreement of sale. In the agreement, if you read all the powers, all the promoter would have been written everything. I have a power to modify the plan without your consent, without bringing to your notice everything. Post-RERA, that is not possible. Anything related to the sanction plan modification or specification as per the sanction plan, you have to go back to the whom? You go to the planning authority for change. First, you should go to whom? Who are the interested parties? Right? They are the first, remaining are left. If they give a consent, okay, fine, you go and modify. Then they go to planning authority. After planning authority, they come to RERA, file an application for modification. Right? This is the best practice, like, because you are the stakeholder, you are the customers of that project. Look, showing something, they have sold it to you. Now they wanted to modify it, they have to come to you first. Right? Then only they can go to planning approval authority, then to the RERA and modify it. If the consents are not given, sufficient consents are not given, 2/3 consents, 2/3 is how much? 66 point. If you're not able to get 66%, then you cannot modify at all. Okay, this is the important aspect we should remember. Okay, and while issuing the certificate, you should ask. All of a sudden, last quarter 28 ಅಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸರಿ 36 ಅಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಏನಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಫ್ಲೋರ್ ಹಾಕಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅವನು. Right? That amounting to what? Modification, right? So you should ask, where is the sanction plan? Where is the consent? Have you reported to the authority? Not merely, okay, 28 ಇವಾಗ 36ಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ 36 ಕೋಟಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ 28 ಕೋಟಿ ನನಗೂ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಫೀಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬರ್ಬೋದು ಸರ್ಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿ. You will not pay extra fees, honestly, I'll tell you. Okay. Yeah.
The consent letter will not be applicable, right? It's a commercial, it's a hospital, it's what we are developing.
It is not a project, na? Where are you selling it?
Because it's a hospital. We are going to say,
What is the modification is important. Then you have to go, na?
Then you have to seek consent
From the customer.
from the allottees. If
From
we
the
have
allottees
allotted.
in the project.
If there are no allottees, no consent is required.
Consent, yeah. 0 into 2/3 is how much? 0. That's the answer. Okay. Anything is a number, ma. Without number, it doesn't work. Remember. And we should be strong in numbers as chartered accountants. So that is about the modification. And without that, because many a time, if you read the occupancy certificate, it says modified plan, sanctioned and so on, so and occupancy certificate are issued. That means something is happened in between. Or you wouldn't have obtained the modification in between than the BBMP. While he obtaining the occupancy certificate, he goes and file an application also along with that stating that modification is there.
No,
So the
there's-
issue
there's a slight bit of technical thing there.
Mm.
The bylaws, municipal bylaws allow 5% deviation. So 5% deviation.
Sometime modified plan barutte.
Sometimes irutte, but if you see OCs, if you show me one OC where penalty is not levied for deviation. So 100 out of 100 OCs issued say there is deviation and there is penalty levied. So at that point of time, when the deviation is such that it requires a modified plan, though they do not issue a modified plan, they would have sometimes said modified. OC is issued as per modified plan.
No, sometimes that 28 apartment to 42 apartment making bigger to the smaller.
Adu parvailla. Where this 5% is
Yeah,
regularized,
5% is not.
they say as per modified plan, but generally they would accept a plan, but they wouldn't have sanctioned the plan. They just to regularize it, regularize that 5%, they will levy a penalty. They will say it is modified.
Okay, and you all know that during the COVID, what happened? Everybody need a more space at home. They cannot go to the neighbor house, right? Even they also had a COVID problem. So instead of 2 bedroom, people started asking for 3 bedroom or 4 bedroom, 2.5 bedroom. But this fellow has only 2 bedroom apartment plan that point of time. Okay, anyhow, instead of building 100 houses, let me build only 80 houses or 70 houses. But there is no change in total area, quantity of area, but only in terms of number of units have changed. Is that amounting to modification? Right? That is what he should come back and take the consent. BDA, respective planning approval authority, come to RERA, then you continue it. Okay. Then completion, okay. Same internal development, external development we have seen. On project completion, submit, these are all the information. There is a separate module for that. Occupancy certificate, consolidated bank statement, mortgage release, structural stability certificate, sold, unsold. In case of apartment or the group housing, you should form the association of allottees, submit those details, project photographs, common area which is allotted to the association, and professional certificate. So you satisfy first the project is completed. Based on that, you issue the certificate. And there is no fee for the submission at this point of time. You can free to submit this. And authority now taking a step now. For them, completion is more important than your registration. You promised something, now you have delivered. Okay, the delivery should be like what? Whatever be the you promises. Now they're engaging retired AG officer to verify this completion. Whatever your completion, whatever you are completed, whether necessity documents, necessity approvals, NOCs are available, and the way that they promised are delivered, is there now they're verifying it. And if it is not, rather before complainants come, before customers come, there would be a notice from the authority itself stating that you have filed for an application for completion. However, we found these are all the shortcomings. Please explain.
No, at the moment, no.
Actually, sir, actually, there was a proposal. So many were going and asking, give me the completion certificate. Authority felt that if I issue the completion certificate, it's my responsibility. Then they say that we'll come to the site visit. Then the industry said, Barbadi sir, yaar Barbadi nivo, namak certificate veda. In terms of that would be the conversation from various RERA authorities. But over the period, it may come. Okay, at this point of time, they have not reached a place.
Generally, the authority, it's a self-policing mechanism because you're all certifying everything, no? CS are certifying, engineers are certifying, architects are certifying. So
more than customers are also looking on day-to-day basis.
Also that, and when the visiting happens, many other issues crop up. So they are not doing that.
Yeah.
Not another authority, it will become like your GST inspectors on the road. So
okay. So industry also don't want, and also as such, customers are like police. Every day they have a group. One message.
Bangalore is number one in terms of consumer activism when it comes to real estate. We are far, far more sensitive than any other state or any other city. You have a question? RERA website.
No. There is a separate login. What happens is
the login is the same. The module is different.
Module is different
For reporting completion.
There is no there is no login for the completion. Okay, it comes as a OTP, enabled as an OTP. Only for quarterly update you have a login. For only that you have a login. For other things there is no logins. Once you report 100% in quarterly update, then one more window open as a final summary report. Once you do that final summary report, submit, your completion module will open. Open in the sense it enables you to file it. Okay, under registration itself, go and see there is a completion. Okay.
So once you do that, the project moves into completed projects. It moves into a different section. So
next is about agreement of sale. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 we have seen. 7 and 8, if you are not able to complete the project within the time, the authority has a power to revoke. Suo moto or based on the complaint received from the allottees, revocation of registration. If it is revoked, what will happen? they can freeze the bank accounts, then they can ask the government to take over or call the allottees to come and take over the project in terms of because promoter is not able to complete 7 and 8. And having revoked the registration, they have a power to blacklist the promoter, not only in one state, across India, they can blacklist the promoter. That is 8. 9 and 10 is all about agent. There is a real estate agent in the project and that real estate agent should register. Okay, section 9 is about registration of the real estate agent. Section 10 is about functions and duties of the real estate agent. Because when they are thinking of a real estate law, the RERA, two, one is a promoter, another is this is sold through the agents. So agents should be well aware of it, about the project. They also some of the duties, some of the responsibilities casted on the agents while they promote the project. Actually, in Delhi, in Maharashtra, there is a examination for the agent to clear to become an agent. Yes, sir. They're ambassadors. They're not agents. They're not selling. Okay. They're not selling it. They come as ambassadors only. Agent means like they will come and
The newspaper also advertises.
Yeah.
In the newspaper, they are, if it carries.
Okay. Agent will register.
No, as long as if you, he is only part of that advertisement. He is not as receiving remuneration as commission.
Now, same
So when
thing
you are
which happened
booking-
with Amrapali, na? Dhoni. Dhoni has become ambassador and he ended up with shelling out all the remuneration received out of that to the customers. He has not only the amount received in excess of whatever the remuneration he received, he has refunded or returned to the
Promoter.
not to the promoter, through the NCLT process. Okay. So that
No, but
was
then he
such a big-
does that, those celebrities don't become real estate
agents.
agents as
Will not
defined
become
under
agent.
the act.
Okay.
Because they don't receive remuneration where the assistance in selling, buying and selling happens, introduction happens, and remuneration is received for the sale of that particular unit or units in a project. Only then that person is deemed to be a real estate agent.
Okay. So 9 and 10 is about, which says that also it further says that the RERA registered project promoter should not entertain or appoint other than the registered RERA agents. They should not pay a commission other than to RERA registered, right? For that, who should certify? Commission paid to registered or not? Who will certify? Huh? CA should certify. Again, numbers means we are number 1. Nobody will come in between. Confidently say, we should only certify when in the form 7 annual audit report, it says total commission paid, whether any commission paid to other than real estate registered agents. There I have to qualify it. Then I have to call upon, give me the commission and brokerage statement to whom all you paid it. And whether they are registered agent or not, that I have to certify it. Okay. To whom will you pay? That you will not pay, you will reduce from his amount. Generally, you will not pay as a commission. That's not correct. Then ask him to become an agent. Yes, madam. Why he will refer? Is it his business? But under RERA, any amount pay as a remuneration, commission, referral fee, they're all comes under a category of an agent. So they end up with, they should register with RERA. His employee is not an agent, na? Employee you pay as an incentive or sales, commission or whatever. Employee is okay. My employee is okay. Employee is part of his job only. Is part of your organization. Okay. If
His
customer
remuneration
refers-
is only salary. Remuneration is salary
salary or incentive by referral
or incentive. Incentive doesn't amount to commission.
brokerage or
You
commission.
will not report it as commission, no? You will only report it as admin cost in terms of payment to the employees.
To whom referral bonus would be paid?
To an employee is okay. Third party,
You should register.
So a lot of builders, they are paying, this is the.
There's a motivation person.
For what? Ask him to register, make more motivation. Huh? Huh? Yes, exactly, madam. He should do whatever he is supposed to do. That's what I said. Iron person should not promote the agent business. Okay. That's what it brought in. Sir, ಒಂದು LIC 350 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕಟ್ಟಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದೇನೋ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬರೀತೀರಿ ಏನದು? ಏನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್? ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಟ್ಟಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀರಾ LIC? Lowest premium I remember about 120 rupees ante in LIC. To pay 120 rupees to convince somebody, you should have been passed IRDA exam. Don't you feel that somebody who has some knowledge, some certification should sell this product called real estate?
no, this is basically the referral programs.
Seeing that the builder has got his own in-house company, where he parks all his commissions for those unregistered people, and from that he starts paying unregistered agents.
That's how it works. That's how it works, sir. What he'll do is he float on LLP or something. That LLP is an agent of that. Under that LLP, there would be some employees, some commission. Indirectly, that's
Registered.
what is happening. But as a chartered accountant, to whom you are paying in an LLP. That LLP is a registered agent.
But
That's
there is
it.
no arm's length transaction, related party transaction.
ಅಲ್ತೆಲ್ಲ ತರಬೇಡಿ ಸರ್. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ತಂದು ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. In turn, verify that LLP books whom he has paid. Okay, if you are more curious, you can do that. You can tell him that don't do that also. Okay, over the period it will come. Okay, section 9 and 10, and UP has a reporting by the agents itself. Half yearly report they have it. If you read section 10, every agent should maintain the books of accounts as may be prescribed, as records as may be prescribed. In UP, they say that half yearly reporting of agents, transaction agents performance is there. Again, as this project, I have booked unit number 801. Okay, you report it so that it becomes a database. Who is the agent, what they are doing and all. Okay, so there is a penalty for agents also. This may be levied up to 5% of the cost of the unit he marketed. ಅವನಿಗೆ 2% ಬರೋದು, ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ 5% ಅವನು ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. And no. In India, it's a state-wise project. One time for 5 years for entire state. For an individual, 25,000 for 5 years, and renewal it's 10,000 rupees for next 5 years. For a non-individual, 2 lakh rupees for entire state for 5 years. Subsequent 5-year renewal, it is for 25,000 rupees. Okay. So this is about section 9 and 10. Section 11 talks about functions and duties of the promoter. You have 6 subclasses. This is the longest section in the RERA Act itself. Okay. Yes, various things. Those are all called functions and duties of the promoter. Okay. And now we talk about one of 11, that is a section 11. Section 12 talks about veracity of advertisement. What do you mean by veracity of advertisement? In veracity of advertisement andre correct, right? Correct ah kodbeku anta heli. Correctness of the advertisement irutta. Veracity of advertisement.
Like petrol is coming there, garden is like that, those kind of things.
Those disclaimers are not permitted now. They're not permitted. Artistic impressions, impression they say. So those are now, if you see some of the prominent builders, they actually put all the on-site photographs.
Actual shot.
There are no actual shot taken at the
site.
Those who are no art is to be done, they are doing it. But still, an advertisement, veracity of advertisement, if on the basis of an advertisement you have purchased something and you find that that is not correct, you can even seek for a refund now.
With the company.
So veracity and advertisement now also includes the model apartment. So model apartments, if you see, generally they look, once you go in, you look like they're really fancy. You are sold just by looking at the model apartment. What would happen in model apartments? What they would do earlier is the roof height. Now this is 9 feet. They'll make it 11 feet. The puja room is 2.5 feet. They would have made it 3.5 feet. So all these small tweaks they would do to the model apartment to make it look very attractive. So now if you are visiting a project and seeing a model apartment, you should actually take a video of what is being shown to you, because what is shown to you, 90%, 99%, it won't get delivered. Because that is why the Act has now included even the model apartment in an advertisement. So what you see in a model apartment also becomes an advertisement. So veracity of the advertisement when you're speaking, everything that the promoter says, that interiors of course, interiors baradilwala. What is being sale agreement? Sale agreement, they might say kitchen will give it to you, but they won't say all interiors. So when we advise promoters, we say put a disclaimer that all this is not part of the standard offering. So when you are advising a promoter, when you enter, the interiors are not part of the standard offering, you make a disclaimer. Of course, as a normal intelligence, you will understand that that is not part of, just like car the accessories shown are not part of the standard offering. So, but yes, even a model apartment now is deemed to be an advertisement. So what is shown there should be delivered.
Not anyone claiming that I have got this property. Is that, I mean, which may not actually be true.
It is.
That also that.
You can claim on the, if you come to know that actor has not purchased it, because of his statement, you're influenced and you're cheated with that, you file a case on the actor.
You cannot.
Why?
You cannot. But yeah, what is your question?
That's the kind of thing. I mean, because I'm
No, why? Only you are the fan. I am not a fan. So if that, no, it won't amount to an advertisement veracity. He's just said, I bought it. He is buying what you bought. No.
There's some. So they are influencers, right?
So
That is what is called, if
how
you
does
read
it-
section 10, it's called unfair trade practices.
No, there is no unfair trade practice there, because all that they are saying is another famous person has bought it. What does it mean to you?
So if he has not booked it, if it is not booked it.
No, what he's saying is booked.
No, see, I mean, you guys see many advertisements where some actor will say, I have bought this plot of land.
No, I have not seen it. Show me one ad.
No, it's there in Andhra, Baba. If you read.
No, I have not seen it.
See the Telugu channel.
But then that doesn't amount to veracity of advertisement, because it doesn't say the buying of a unit by a celebrity is only an inducement for you to say that, okay, that fellow has also bought, you also buy. You can also buy.
I'll leave it.
But that doesn't, it's not promising. It's not promising that, because that you are also buying into the same project. What he's buying, you are buying. That doesn't amount to anything. Yeah.
Unless he's not the agent, he's not a promoter, he's only. Maybe we have to check this. Everybody is asking. Okay. No, they also say that, sir, in this building, there are 10 chartered accountants are living.
If you have a case, bring it, we'll file a complaint. We'll see what it results to.
Okay.
So, but then, yeah, but it's an encouragement for you to buy, but it doesn't amount to anything advertised. Advertisement is also defined, a prospectus, all that is,
Section
whatever is in writing. So
let's-
advertisement is also defined, section 2A, 2B, I think. 2B
Let's
is
read now, having said, let's have a clarity. Section 2, advertisement 2B means any document described or issued as advertisement through any medium. Any medium means print, SMS, phone, TV, right, pager, includes any notice, circular or other documents or publicity in any form informing person about real estate project or offering for sale of plot, building or apartment, or inviting persons to purchase in any manner such plot, building or apartment, or to make advances or deposits for such purposes. This is called advertisement. Okay. Maybe we'll look at that. It's something we should also work, whether somebody like a film actor or celebrity coming and promoting, will be fit into something called an agent or something, because only a promoter and agent is there. That's all. Then also you end up with saying that somebody talking in the FM, that lady who is talking there. Electronic city 20 ಎಕರೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ನೀವು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಾಪ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಬೇಕು ಅವ್ರ ಆಂಕರ್. Right? So we should see that, okay, where to market, where to demarket. So we all see that, okay. So this is called section 12. Is an opportunity for chartered accountants. Every advertisement they release, as a professional, you can vet. Have you seen the brochures of advertisement of real estate projects? Have you seen? Right? Even you don't spend that money for your marriage invitation, sir. Correct? Okay, or your marriage album also, many a time. So to that extent, there is a money invested on brochure. Who prepares it? Brochure. Who created it? Some designer who is good at CAD, or who is good at some designing tool, right? From where he got this? Where he captured this picture? Say example, this house. Where he captured?
There are online photos available.
Yeah, right.
So they purchase the photos
And put it here. Very good, right? Who has vetted this correct or not? Promoter, did he vet it? Oh, if at all, if he vetted, did he know that it is correct or not? Oh, very good color. You go and send it for advertisement, right? Has you seen impact of section 11, 12? Generally, this is an apartment building. What you see in the advertisement around it? Lake, trees, then butterfly park. If somebody building inside the Lal Bagh, I understand. Right? But actually, when you go, what you see? Right? So that is what is something called veracity. Okay. So looking at that, because in one of the project, this designer has given double road in front of the project. Actually, it is a very small road. Somebody filing a complaint, looking at double road, I purchased this apartment. You tell me what will happen to the promoter. So what?
So it was shown in the brochure. If it is wrong, then you can.
The right that should
be correct.
Sir, it says 2 kilometers from project. That's okay. 2 kilometers how? Road, crow cross. That's okay, but you should have some evidence, na? Project is coming, you should have some evidence, right? Something you say that are earmarked for a metro project. I'm okay with that, right? Somebody say 5 minutes drive, right? How do you drive? What time? What speed? Right? So those are all the matters. At least you should have driven one time to achieve that 5 minutes. Where I'm coming is, if you want to purchase, you will purchase at any cost. When you don't want to purchase this, you wanted to cancel this, what will you do? That is what I'm saying to say that as long as you are with the promoter, everything is good, but you don't want this for whatever be the reason you want to cancel it. But this promoter says that I'm delivering within the time. I'm giving whatever you asked it. This fellow will start looking at what you are offered to me, what documents you are given, where all you advertise, whom all you call to advertise, whether that person really coming and buying it or you only booked it to influence you, made me to buy it by showing that celebrity. You'll go and look at all around and file one complaint. There it starts. Okay, that's what veracity of advertisement also important. As a professionals, you can take up this also as a service in terms of vetting the document, preparing the SOPs before it's sending to any of the print media, print agency, publication. Whatever is publishing is as per whatever is the project plan. Okay, that's about section 12. Section 13 is agreement of sale. What is agreement of sale? Section 2C talks about agreement of sale. What is section 2C talks about? Agreement for sale means the agreement entered into between the promoter and the allottee. Agreement entered between the promoter and allottee. Okay, good. Anything wrong? Further, section 13 you should go, which specifically talks about the agreement. What section 13 talks about? No deposit or advance to be taken by promoter without first entering into agreement of sale, right? There is a limit. There is, by reading that, there is a confusion. Now you read the complete paragraph. A promoter shall not accept a sum more than 10% of the cost of the apartment, plot, or building, as the case may be, as an advance payment or an application fee from a person without first entering into an agreement, written agreement for sale with such person and register the said agreement for sale under any law for time being in force. It says one thing, you cannot collect more than 10% of the cost of the unit without entering into what agreement? Written agreement. It is not an oral agreement. One is written agreement should be there, and that agreement should have been registered. If you want to collect 11%, then this document should be executed. That is what you see on the 6th column of your CA certificate in Annexure A, sold inventory. 5th column is date of agreement. 6th column is registered or not. Understood? So you may be asking, why authority is asking so much? Have you seen where is the relevant to it? Section 13. Now then what is that agreement should contain? That section, subsection 2 talks about the content of the agreement. What all should have it? The agreement for sale. The question of Prema is, the practice in Karnataka is, we are not registering the agreement for sale, right? If I go to the register, there are both the side, promoter also, developer also don't want to register, because if it is registered, if he cancelled, he will not come back. He will not come to me for cancellation unless I pay the full amount of refund or with the compensation. I cannot sell this unit to anybody else. Similarly, customer also, there is a 0.1% or maximum of 20,000 rupees is a stamp duty, but it can be, what do you call it? What note?
Denoted.
Denoted at the final registration, sale deed registration. This can be reduced 20,000 rupees and come, but only the time consuming. But we should educate the customer that this is a mandated under the Act number 1. He is more protected. Okay, he is more protected about that. Okay, it's very easy for
the problem that you have is people are not willing to do it because it is additional cost. That I think now about 60% of the promoters and allottees are coming forward to register. It's only that 30-40% who are not willing to. The moment you tell an allottee that I'm going to register it, they are more than happy to do it, because one, it is secure. It is securing their investment. There is an encumbrance created as against that property that they are buying. So it's better. And Karnataka is the least in when it comes to the stamp duty. In fact, Telangana, as I know, pays a higher stamp duty, and it cannot be denoted. It cannot even be denoted. At least that 20%, maximum 20%, we can still denote it when we go for registering the sale deed. So when you know all of this, I'm sure you'll be able to convince either the promoter or the allottee also.
See, there is two words are there as per local laws. everybody taking an advantage of as per
No,
local
no,
law. it
no,
is
no,
not
no, no, then
mandatory.
local law, you have to go back to COFA. COFA mandates
Mandate.
registration.
Yeah.
Actually, update my, upload all the- So if you say no also, it will.
It will allow,
But,
it is allowing, but.
like you're not
doesn't-
wearing helmet doesn't mean vehicle will not move. Vehicle will move.
Mhm.
That's the same thing, okay?
No, but
Ah.
still the authority is not taking action. Authorities, no, like I said, it's a self-policing mechanism.
But when you file a complaint, that questions are raised, right?
Those questions are raised. In fact, earlier, the
Yeah.
adjudicating officer earlier, the first thing he would ask is the agreement
It is
registered? or not?
registered.
So it starts from there. Of course, now they are not asking, but if you specifically make that as a complaint that they have received money, that he is not registering, then the authority will direct them to register.
Okay, so it's very important.
So
because-
there is a finer interpretation that is being floated around, in fact, by some of the big law firms. They are saying that it is not required to be registered by using under any law for the time being enforced, but then they are not going back and seeing COFA. COFA is still not repealed in India. COFA mandates registration.
So,
And this act also mandates registration. You cannot read between of course, section 17 of Registration Act does not mandate because there is no transfer as such. So there is no transfer, so it doesn't mandate, but this mandates and COFA also mandates.
so that's a section 13. The contents of agreement is clearly mentioned. The minimum contents is a minimum content, section 13(2).
This
Talks
is
about-
notified as part of rule 8A.
8A.
8A, there is the agreement rules in June of 2020, that is also available on the website. The format as notified under rule 8A has to be relied upon, that is the same format that has to be used.
The format because one of the objective is the standardization, bring the professionalism. So it made it a point that even the Supreme Court have a common builder-buyer agreement across India, a similar agreement between the buyer and the builder, and that is one of the intent. Most of the states have notified that agreement. Okay, so in Karnataka, notified in June 2020. Rule 8A inserted with Annexure A. Okay, and this is the agreement should have all this information talking about particular development specification, what is the internal development work, external development work, dates and manner which the payments are done. Huh? Yes, sir. There is Annexure A to the rule 8A. There you have the prescribed format, and that is a standard form. That should not be diluted in front of the classes, should not be diluted, and any extra classes to be added, that should not be over and above the act and the rules. Okay, and these are all the minimum classes that should have it. What is the date of possession in case of a delay? What should be the rate of interest? All has to be part of your agreement of sale. This is what case law. Fortune infrastructures. Yeah, where in case in one of the agreement it says that there was no, because one of the condition of the agreement is date on which the possession should be given. Right? In one of the case there was no possession date was given. In case where there are no possession date was not given, the court held that 3 years from the date of agreement date would be considered as a reasonable for the purpose of possession date for the awarding the compensation. So what we have seen, section 13 agreement of sale, section 14 talks about the modification of plan, sanction plan and specification. We have read that. Section 14(2) talks about defect liability period. What do you mean by defect liability? What do you mean by defect liability? What is a defect? Defect liability. We know that there would be some defect in the project. Generally, what would be the time period? Like warranty, how much time they used to give? How much? That is now, before 1 year or 2 years, right? So now it is under RERA, it's a mandatory of 5 years. Standardization, everybody should give the same thing, 5 years. So, yeah, that's also section 14(3) clear that one is the structure of the project, provision of services, quality of materials, obligation of the promoter. These are the 4 things, 4 wordings it has given. Any defect, they found it. So that is the 5 years of liability. So within the 5 years, if you write that there is a defect in terms of so and so, within 30 days, the promoter should attend to it. Okay, that is section 14(3) in terms of the defect liability. Section 15 talks about transfer of rights and liabilities in the project. Basically, it's a takeover, transfers, those things. We have seen that many of the projects could not be completed. Some other new builders would come and take over, or association of allottees themselves come and take over. Banks, the lenders would come and take over. That is that section 15 enables transfer of rights and liabilities in the project. First, you go to the customer, say that I'm unable to complete it. We are handing over this to the one more new builder. Okay. Then what is the agreement you entered, and give the terms of those agreement to share with the customer. Take again 2/3 consent. We are okay with that. Then go to the authority, file an application of transfer of rights, take the approval, then complete the transaction. That is section 15. Section 16 talks about insurance. Basically, there are two types of insurance. One is insurance on building. Second is a title insurance. Under RERA, it mandates the title insurance under section 16. We know that building insurance would be taken during the construction. Title insurance is, there are no products in India to assure or guarantee a title. So that is why authorities are not mandating the title insurance. So title insurance is optional at this point of time. Section 17 talks about conveyance or transfer of the title in the project. Okay, when will you transfer it? When will be the registration happen? When will the transfer happen? Completion, right? Completion of the project. Many a time do you see that they say that, sir, before completion you come and register it? No? Doing it, right? There are small and medium builders, before completion only they wanted to register for various reasons, to avoid the GST or to collect the full fund from the banker, because many bankers gives only on registration of the sale deed they register 100%. Okay, so in terms of they may register even before the completion of the project, receive before completion. So section 17 talks about the registration or conveyance of the apartment or a unit, okay, within 3 months from date of receipt of occupancy certificate, 2 months from the date of occupancy certificate.
Before that, say that we register before full completion.
It says that the promoter shall execute a register conveyance deed in favor of the allottees along with the undivided proportion title in the common areas to the association of the allottees or competent authority, as the case may be, and hand over the physical possession within
3 months.
no, it says within 3 months from date of issue of occupancy certificate.
Yeah.
It says within 3 months from date of occupancy certificate. As you are raised it, even before the occupancy certificate can it be, but it is not a it's actually, it says that within 3 months from the date of issue of occupancy certificate. If it were allowed, this class wouldn't have been here.
Occupancy you can't postpone forever, but normally many people they don't register in our names.
Actually,
yeah, I want to set up somebody. So,
but even BBMP prohibits, right?
There is no
Some other local laws, COFA?
there is no prohibition as such. COFA, I'm not aware.
Hmm.
But generally in Karnataka, that registration is not happening. Or most of the promoters don't.
then next April onwards starting the intention. So
That's what. When this is before RERA or before RERA?
Before
Not
RERA,
post-RERA.
anything could have
Not
done.
post RERA. Post RERA, generally even consumers themselves are not coming forward to register without OC. You have to pay full money when
Where
the
it is not
product is not
completed.
ready. Product is not ready. You're not sure whether they are going to be ready. And we've had so many cases where promoters have not completed the projects. So generally now it is not happening.
Unless you wanted to favor a promoter knowing that he is my uncle, my aunt, a relative, where he want the fund, raise the funds.
get
In incomplete, I know of projects which are stalled, where the allottees are going insisting register the sale deed.
Yeah.
What Mr. Nipun was saying, get the sale deed. So in those cases, people are getting registered even without the OC, but otherwise in normal projects where construction is going on, they are not registering. Even the promoters are not coming forward to register without OC.
Okay, that's about section 17. Section 18 talks about return of amount and compensation. In case the promoter fails to complete the project or unable to give the possession of an apartment or a plot or a building, he has to return along with the compensation. Return the amount with the compensation. So that's what section 18.
Section 18 specifically says, as per the terms of the agreement. So if the promoter fails to deliver as per the terms of the agreement, then you can go under section 14 and seek for delayed period interest as well as compensation. Under section 18(2), that is the defect. In case of a defective title, you can seek for compensation.
Maybe section 31 also you can talk about before you.
So the dispute resolution mechanism is split into two. One is seeking of compensation. Two is refund, delay period interest, and all other reliefs that you can seek under RERA. So when it comes to compensation, adjudging compensation, the adjudicating officer, who's a retired district judge, is appointed to adjudge compensation under section 71. So what do you understand by compensation? Compensation is any loss that has accrued to you by virtue of anything that has been done or not done under sections 12, 14, 18, and 19. So anything that is been done or not done under sections 12, 14, 18, and 19, you can seek for compensation by filing a complaint before the adjudicating officer, who is a retired district judge. So he will adjudge only compensation. What can be compensation? You can file two complaints. When a project is delayed, you can file one complaint before the authority saying that give me delayed period interest. You can also file another complaint saying give me compensation. Compensation could be that the project is delayed and it is, let's say it is delayed by 24 months. For 24 months, in addition to paying your EMI, you have paid rent for another apartment. That is a loss that has accrued to you. That you can seek as compensation. You are seeking for refund before the authority, and now you can go before the adjudicating officer saying that I have lost an opportunity. He has not completed the project. I could have bought it in another project. Now the prices, instead of 2,000, it has become 3,000. It's a loss to me. It's a loss of opportunity. If you are able to establish by way of increase in guidance value or somewhere you can establish that the prices have gone up, I have lost an opportunity, that you can seek as compensation. The factors for compensation are given. What is to be considered is under section 72. That section 72 gives the factors for the adjudicating officer to consider to grant compensation. So this is one aspect of filing of complaint. There is under the rules form M and N, two form N and O, two forms, one for compensation, one another. You can also file complaint under other sections. Section 35. Section 35 enables back. Section 35 enables the authority to either initiate action suo moto or on the basis of a complaint. So what are these complaints? One is, we saw that refund and delay period interest, which the authority has to consider. You have to go before the authority. What that is before the authority, compensation before the AO. Now, this is another set of complaints which you can file before the authority. We saw section 11 under section 11(4)(d), 11(4)(e). The promoter is cast with the responsibility of facilitating formation of an association. Now, many a times they don't do that. They don't execute the deed of declaration. They don't hand over the corpus money. They don't hand over the documents. So what do you do then? You go before the authority, file a complaint under section 35 and say that the promoter is not doing this. So that is, this is a separate The fees that is to be paid is the same, 1,000 rupees you still pay, but you can invoke all this. Everything else that is to be done under the act, you can go before the authority saying that stage-wise time schedule is not given, interest is charged more than what it should be charged under the rules. Anything that you have as a grievance as against a promoter or a real estate agent, you can file. Now, because under section 19, there are duties cast upon the allottees also. As promoters are also filing complaints against allottees now. We have filed complaints against allottees, where allottees pay, let's say 10% they pay. After that, they've entered into the agreement. They have not come back. What happens is that inventory gets locked. They are not able to realize the money. So in such cases, also they don't come forward to execute the cancellations. They don't come forward to execute the cancellation of the agreement. In those cases, even promoters are now entitled to file complaints under section 19. You can file a complaint before the authority against an allottee. So this is the mechanism. This is online. And online, the complaint, I think it allows about 500 words as a complaint. Of course, you can file a detailed complaint also. If you are practicing, if you are filing. I would suggest that though it's a simple, easy mechanism, it looks easy, but it is not easy. It involves some certain amount of legal intricacies. If you are advising a client, or if you are having promoter file a complaint against an allottee or otherwise, you should either know the law or you should consult a person who knows what to do, because it's quite intricate. You may succeed at the first stage, but as it goes higher, we see that people are failing because they have not done the job better at the first stage itself.
So what happened? I have 1,000 apartments, like about 20-30 customers are not happy with whatever maybe. Out of 1,000 apartments, I have 10 towers. Okay. In one tower, some problem or something happened, like rock hit at the bottom of the foundation. They delayed it, or this is sold it to some investor, or sold it to some borrowed from some lender. There is some problem with this. Okay. Out of 11 towers or 10 towers, about 1,000 apartments, people started filing complaint. Okay. Obviously, they are agreed. So section 31 is invoked. They started filing complaint. The moment people started filing complaint against the promoter, the complaints will increase 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Then authority will be alert. On the promoter, so many complaints are coming. So there is something wrong, something we should take appropriate action. When you go for the next registration or go for a next extension, go for any modification, authority is holding it. You have 50 complaints on you on this project or this promoter. Explain. And already if the orders are passed, if it is at the hearing stage, he can say, sir, it's not disposed. Orders are not posed. If the orders are passed, stating that you pay the compensation or refund the money, authority is denying registration for the new projects or not allowing the extension for the existing projects. It impacts on the business itself. There is a business risk involved. There is a regulatory risk which is involved. What is the accounting standard talks about regulatory risk? AS or SA, sorry, standard on auditing. What is that? 250 or something. Talks about regulatory risk. If you are doing it and if you may end up with losing the license from the regulatory, that is a regulatory risk, and which has an impact on continuity of the business, right? That's something called, what is that, sir? Called going concern concept. Then I have to highlight it. So this is what is important as a professional, financial professional. Look at that. If the complaints are increasing on the promoter, okay. So that's what is important. This already we have discussed at various instances since morning. In terms of section 59 talks about if you are not registered, section 3 violation up to 10%, other than section 3 up to 5%, which may be 4, 5, 6, whatever you have seen. Any other violation, quarterly update not filed, modification not filed, extension you are not taken, financial management not made, advertisement, they have a power to levy up to 5% of the project cost as a penalty. So this is about section 2 to section 18. Section 19 talks about allottees, right? Allottees, we also mentioned that one of the stakeholder in the entire project is allottee. Even he has some of the duties to perform. What are those duties? Section 19. These are 11 subsections are there in section section 19. We start with what he should do. First, what is the primary obligation of allottee? What is that? If you are a customer or if you are a builder, what do you expect from a customer? Payment, right? When? Timely payment of money, right? Whatever I agreed, timely payment of money, correct? Then what else? Execute a document, either agreement of sale or a sale deed. Then what? What else? When I complete the project, I'll enable to form an association. I'll invite, please come and form an association. I wanted to move out. I cannot be here forever, right? He should come and participate in the formation of an association. That is what is section 19 talks about. In terms of, he shall be entitled, many of initial five sections, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has some entitlement. Section 6 onwards, he has to perform something. In case of a delayed payment, he should also pay a delayed interest under section 11(7), and obligation in terms of taking the physical possession when it is completed, come and take the possession, because many of the customers sitting at US or Dubai, they say that they don't take it. We'll come and we'll take the possession. So now I have to maintain it. As a builder, I should continue to maintain it, right? Because it talks about defect liability start from the date of handing over the possession. Then my defect liability will go after you take the possession. So this is what is about section 19. Okay. And again, which talks about registration of the sale deed or possession or participate in the formation of an association. So section 1 is the preamble, objective, 2 definition. Till 19 we have seen. This is what you have seen. You have to read as a professional. If you are practicing along with advisory, also a legal, filing a complaint or looking at, then you have to read at section 31, section 35 and section 71, tribunal related to the appellate tribunal, section 43. Those are all the aspects. Beyond 20, beyond 19, you should also start reading the act. So this is about the entire A to Z of RERA. Okay. In terms of understanding the basics, we can have one more advanced one. Continue from 20. No, I'll take all your questions. I'll take all your questions. Will not move out. Others also will not move out. Don't worry. Okay. They also listen your questions. We have few important decided case laws at the Supreme Court, High Court. Okay. We'll leave this presentation to you. So it's 550. Okay. 550. We'll take your question and answers. If you, these are all the very important case laws, judgments, very good judgments. If you read that, entire act has been discussed. The moment any new act first filing before Supreme Court is challenging the constitution validity of this act. Same thing happened here also. Okay. There is no exception. 42 senior councils, the best of the best senior councils of India represented best of the best builders in India, and none of them have succeeded with proving that it's against the constitution of India. So that is the first Neel Kamal Realtors versus Union of India. Supreme Court
that
directed.
Is of course not there in this presentation.
Not there. Okay, that's one of the. It may be in your handbook. You can go through that. So various judgment case laws are there. That's for your reference. So with this, we're ending our presentation. We are here to take any of your questions, queries. If you have any personal specific questions, we can take it after the end of the program. If it is very general, you are open to us, because already it is 5 minutes to 6 o'clock. You have spent your weekend with us instead of your family members. We appreciate and we thank you for being here and hearing whatever we have spoken since morning. Thank you very much for your patience hearing. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you have energy to even clap also. That's a big thing. Thank you. Okay. Yeah.
You have a questions.
Yeah. Where to
Oh,
throw,
that's a Car parking, you go to section 2N. Read section 2N.
Common area. What is
What is
registration?
register? Under RERA or in the sale deed, where? You have to show the number of
Part
car
of the
parks, no?
registration.
You have to show the number of car parks. You can charge,
Huh?
you can charge.
Ah,
That's
okay,
why I'm saying read
We'll have
section
now
2N. See the
Huh?
definition under common areas under the Karnataka Apartment Ownership Act included the entire basement or only, so there is only the open car parks which were now section 2N has left out covered car parking in the definition of common areas.
In a
So
group
if-
section
if-
project.
If you see the sale agreement, the draft of sale agreement under section A, rule 8A, it
Consideration.
shows cost
for the car park.
1.1, clause 1.1, price breakup, cost for one car park, cost for two car park. What you're referring to is the law as it prevailed earlier
Supreme Court.
by virtue of the Supreme Court judgment, where it referred to the definition of common areas as given under the Apartment Ownership Act, which has been now amended, section 2N specifically has left out covered parking.
It's
So it
more of
only
a
covers
right to use.
Open car park. So when you're registering the project, you have to declare the number of car parks. You can allot the car park, collect money and sell all. You see the form of the, you see
No,
rule 8A, no
Allot the
agreement,
car parking, not the sell, allot the car park.
allot the car parking.
If you see
Sell
the
you
schedule
cost.
of it,
Huh.
collect the cost for the car park. Okay, it is more of a allotment of a car park. Okay, it is a common area. You can't make it, put your cylinder,
No,
gas stove, those are not
No, no.
permitted.
No, in the
It's a
agree.
common area.
Also, no, it is not a common area. It is your exclusive area. If you see the agreement, it also says the apartment and the car parking shall be treated as an indivisible unit. So you cannot sell car park separately. But sell, you can allot. Most of the promoters are not calling it car parking charges. They are calling it as parking development charges. But it is being charged and collected now. It is not illegal. Yes. It need not be, because if you see the sale agreement which is notified by the government, union government for the union territories, there also cost for one car park, cost for two car park is given. You can actually collect the money.
These are called so-called affordable housing finance companies. They don't insist, let's say, without RERA also we
Fund it.
RERA authority or-
If they come to know, they issue notice. They see the advertisement. You go give somebody something saying that they are not registered, they'll immediately issue notice.
If you go to the
A show
website,
cause notice immediately gets issued to the promoter, Financier is not there, no? Where is the requirement under law? RBI, authority will not.
yeah,
It has
yeah,
been happening. The authority can only take action against the promoter. See, when you read section 31 and 35, a violation of the act by promoter, allottee or real estate agent. Of course, now in some cases by virtue of the Rajasthan High Court judgment, which was also confirmed by the apex court, in case of where the financial institution has lent, in some cases, the authority is impleading the financial institution also to make sure that it doesn't
Money.
arm twist the promoter, it doesn't act against the interest of the allottees, only in those cases. But in this case, it cannot do anything, only against the promoter.
General statement where I would say that RERA does not have the fact that power to punish them. Are the orders given by them against the promoter?
What
execution.
orders are not being implemented is orders passed in favor of allottees, either for payment of delay period interest or refund. Section under the scheme of the act, section 40, under section 40, where execution is contemplated. Execution is through recovery of that money as land revenue. No, it goes to the deputy commissioner revenue, and then it comes down to the tahsildar, and then it just stops there. So because the revenue authorities are not able to implement the orders, it is becoming a little difficult. It is not just unique to Karnataka. It is everywhere that problem is there.
Get a RERA of that, then you collect that.
Then there is a revenue recovery certificate, something called as an RRC, which is issued by the authority and it is transmitted to the deputy commissioner. Thereafter you follow. But the promoters feel the heat. The moment an RRC goes and notices start getting issued, then the promoters do feel the heat. And there have been cases where offices have been sealed. And we have in fact filed writ petition. We have also filed contempt against the deputy commissioner because they did not enforce the order. So there is some amount, but still it is not as effective as it is under the Consumer Protection Act, because there the consumer forum, the district consumer forum itself has the power to attach as well as arrest. So that power is not there. Like Mr. Nipun just said that there are rules framed in Gujarat, perhaps that will have to be emulated in Karnataka also for it to make it effective. Yes, to a certain extent, it is not effective. There it is lacking. But also, when you apply for a registration of the next project, the authority is saying, what have you done about the previous? They have also not giving registration if you have not done your quarterly updates. So that is being linked. Commercial, where ground floor is, you have a complex, upper floors, no
the plan
percentage.
sanction, if the sanction plan mentioned, whatever be the sanction plan, that's what is you have to mention.
See, like you have some complexes, no? Ground floor is all shops and upper floors are apartments. That is a mixed
Sanction
use.
plan, depends
It
on
can be a larger project like Orion. If you register the whole thing, if you take into consideration, it's a mixed use. No, nothing. Yeah. Hey, just one moment.
It's not registered. Yes, you can say it. The time of registered the product, but it's not registered. It's sold the and handed over the product. How the resident welfare association? How does the resident welfare association have the opportunity to file?
No, it should be the promoter.
how come
You file a complaint. You file a complaint before the authority, and if it is a registerable project, like I said, the first relief you will seek is that direct the promoter to register the project, then seek all other reliefs. So then the authority will direct the first, in the show cause notice is issued. The RERA itself. But RERA, you have to seek for a relief of registering the project. As an association also, you can file a complaint. If there are any things, any shortcomings in the delivery of the project. No. Under law, if something is to be registered, it has to be registered. So you can. Yes, sir.
As such, there is no mechanism. Maybe you have to write a note along with the next certificate, post it in the next certificate. There is no modified intention. It's only a bona fide, some mistakes. Mention qualification, report it. Okay. Yes.
Yes.
No. Yeah.
In form 4.
No. You can withdraw, So you can withdraw anytime. Only thing is, let's say that you have collected 100 and you are only entitled to withdraw 20. So you'll only withdraw 20 with the help of that certificate. And if it is reverse, you'll use that one certificate till you collect all that money. So it's like that.
Yeah.
So always there is this gap between the PUC and the architecture.
Yeah, perfect.
There's always a difference. It's never the same.
If it is all same, then that is not correct, right? Huh? That is what section envisage. Okay, you are eligible to withdraw as per section 4.2 LD provision 1 is about proportionate to percentage of completion of project. Your architect only certify what is the percentage of completion. He never certify what is the value of it. And engineer goes to the site, you look at what is the cost which goes into this project. He value the project cost and he certify it. He will never look into the books of accounts. So based on their calculation, based on their professional standards, whatever they have it, they calculate what is the cost which goes into that. Okay. When you come to the form 4, the chartered accountant, he's relied upon what? Books of accounts maintained by the promoter. These two is only a guiding factor. These two architect engineer certificate is only a reference. It can't be for the purpose of you issue a certificate relying on that. In example, if the architect certificate talk about 53% project completion, right? When you calculate the CA certificate, not only the cost of the construction, there is a offsite cost, administration cost, payment of taxes, interest, everything would be there. So everything will come, right? So putting up all those things, it may come to 61%. It may not be a 53%. Okay. So if that is the case, 53% or 61%, whichever is lower, you're eligible to withdraw from the project. Okay. Which says basically whatever you incur towards the construction cost, entire amount you will withdraw. Whatever you have spent, land cost, you are eligible to withdraw only the 51%. Okay. So it restrict. Okay. I know that you invested entire money into the land, but that is not the intent of the act. Say an example, on the day one, you launch a project, you sell all the inventory. What is the construction? 0%. But land cost, if you allow to withdraw entire land cost, then what are you doing? You are not doing the develop because you need a money for a development. Okay. But this is there only in Karnataka and Gujarat. All other states allow you to withdraw entire land cost, which slowly every authority is now realizing that should not be the intent, that should not the objective of that. Slowly they are also asking the more details about it. Okay. So it's 6:05. So we'll be ending our workshop on RERA. Okay. And thank you so much again for your patience hearing. We'll be here for some more time. If you have any individual thoughts, we can clarify those things. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, with this, we come to the conclusion of today's one-day workshop on RERA. And we all know how tiring the session may be for you all to attend. And it's really impressive to see that most of the members have stayed back, which means to say that our speakers have delivered a wonderful presentation. So let's all give a big round of applause. Okay, so as part of the valedictory session, let me propose a vote of thanks for today's, the speakers. The day began with our RERA member, Gurijala Ravindranath Reddy sir, who in fact gave the perspective as a regulator on the RERA provisions applicable in Karnataka. Then we had 3 key speakers who deliberated upon the entire session. So I would call them as because Vinay sir, when he started the session, he was talking about some entertainment. IPL season is over, but we had a kind of an extension of the IPL. Maybe if I could equate in terms of the RCB team, we had the 3 KGFs over here. So you can, what do you call, assign who were the 3 stalwarts who played for this entire session on workshop. And I would equate the RERA member to be the BCCI chairman or the president who handled the session in the inaugural part. And we had a beautiful deliberation. We all have been enthralled and enriched with the knowledge on the subject of RERA and also the interplay between RERA and IBC by our advocate and CA Nipun Singhvi sir. So overall with this, I would like to thank once again both the speakers, Vinay sir and Suhail sir, for their wonderful deliberations. Now may I request our one of the chartered accountants, CA Gopi Kishore, to please come forward and hand over a memento as a token of appreciation to our speaker, CA Mr. Suhail sir. Please give them a big round of applause. Thank you so much, sir. Can I request CA Balaji sir to come forward to hand over the memento to Vinay sir? So man of the match, let's all give him a big round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, sir. Members, with this, we conclude today's workshop on RERA. Have a great evening. Thank you.